Hey YouTube, Bob here. 2014 is winding down, so I figured it's time to get started on my second annual year in review video. And just like last year, I'm going to be taking a look at the various Nintendo things that I got throughout the year in categories such as games, both Wii U and 3DS, game guides, hardware, and just various other Nintendo things that I picked up. So here we go. Hope you enjoy. I figured we'd start with games because, well, if it weren't for the games we play, we wouldn't be doing any of this in the first place. So first up here, not necessarily in the order that the game came out during the year or even the order that I got it, I'm going to do these in alphabetical order by title, is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And really all I have to say about this particular game is it is a perfect sequel to all the Donkey Kong Country games on the Super Nintendo, all the Donkey Kong Country Returns games on the Wii and the 3DS. This is all that, the graphics, the gameplay, the challenge, brought to you in glorious HD. It's a terrific game, but it is very, very difficult. The platforming here harkens back to the good old days of 8-bit platforming and the difficulty. However, it's masterfully designed. There isn't a lot of cheap stuff going on like those old 8-bit games a lot of times. This is a terrific game, but very challenging. Next up, Hyrule Warriors, and this is a very fun game. Certainly not a proper Legend of Zelda game. As you guys know, probably it's based off of the Dynasty Warriors series, which is kind of like a hack and slash strategy type of game. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have purchased this game if it were just a Dynasty Warriors game. I did buy it, of course, because it has the Legend of Zelda endorsement. But I will say that Team Ninja and Koei and Nintendo, whoever else worked on the game, did a very good job of taking care of the fan service for Legend of Zelda fans, because everything down to the characters you can play, the menus, just the little nuances, the little musical cues and the graphical cues, everything has been meticulously thought out and done very well in this game. And to boot, the gameplay is a lot of fun, and it also supports amiibos. So I think all in all this is a pretty good package. Hyrule Warriors. Next up is Mario Kart 8. And if Hyrule Warriors was the complete package, I would say Mario Kart 8 is the perfect package. As a matter of fact, I'd say it's the definitive Mario Kart game, and going out on a limb, I'd say it's the best Mario Kart game. From the variety of tracks, to the racers, to the new items, and the whole new world of opportunities opened up by the downloadable content that Nintendo is providing on a fairly consistent basis with this game, I'd say it is the optimum Mario Kart experience. The only place where this game is lacking, in my opinion, and this has been noted several times over by other sources, is the battle mode. This game has you doing battle on the existing tracks, trying to pop your opponent's balloons. And in past Mario Kart games, you've been doing so on proper battle arenas that were designed specifically for battle mode. And it just isn't as fun trying to pop your opponent's balloons racing around a long track. You really do want to have an arena with little alcoves to hide in and, you know, little jumps and features that make the battle more fun. It's my hope that with the next download pack that I believe is going to be available in spring 2015, Nintendo's going to provide us with some proper battle mode arenas in addition to the new tracks and new characters that they've already promised us with that download pack. So hopefully with that little patch, if it comes out the way I hope it does, that will make Mario Kart 8 the perfect Mario Kart game. Next up, we have NES Remix Pack. Now this game I really didn't need to buy, but for collector's purposes I did. And I say I didn't need to buy it because as a Nintendo fan, of course, I already downloaded the individual versions, NES Remix 1 and NES Remix 2, from the Nintendo eShop as they became available in 2013 and 2014. They did release this disc version here, NES Remix Pack, and unfortunately I'm a little disappointed to find out that there isn't too much difference between this pack and the downloadable versions. I was hoping that at the very least with this Remix Pack that they integrated NES Remix 1 and NES Remix 2. but instead what you do at the title screen is choose the game you want to play, NES Remix 1, NES Remix 2. So the two different versions aren't integrated, which is a little bit of a disappointment. However, you are allowed to compete in the Nintendo World Championships Remix, which is pretty cool. And the original Super Mario Bros. Reverse starring Luigi that was available in NES Remix 2, that is also here in this package. So while they didn't do much to make it different from the original download versions, it's still a fun game, but completely unnecessary if you've already downloaded the prior two releases. Next up, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. And just like Mario Kart 8, it seems like Nintendo's really hitting its stride with the Wii U. And I would go out on a limb and say that Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is the best Super Smash Bros. Game, or at the very least, my favorite Super Smash Bros. Game. And just the characters, the courses, the battle stages, the gameplay, it's the perfect package. And just like usual Super Smash Bros. Style, it's brimming with content, aside from the standard Super Smash Bros. Gameplay. The only thing I'm disappointed with in this game is that and it's not really a fault of the game necessarily, I'll get into this later on, but the GameCube 4-player adapter isn't able to be used with other games. It's only for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. But that's not a fault of this game, and I wouldn't deduct any points for it if I were giving it a point rating. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is just about the most perfect Smash Bros. Game there is. And finally, Wii Sports Club. Well, Wii Sports Club is not the most perfect of Wii Sports that there is. Granted, it is nice to see the graphics in HD because they were pretty jagged and pixelated on the original versions of Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. But this is just the original Wii Sports. Tennis, bowling, golf, baseball, and boxing. What this game does have going for it is online gameplay. You can choose to become a member of an international or a regional club and play against people who have joined that particular club. There is some additional gameplay with the Wii U gamepad, which you can see right here on the front cover. But what this game doesn't have, and in my opinion what would have made it complete, are the games from Wii Sports Resort. I think that really would have made this the complete package. And even if they had to bump the price up from whatever this game is, $30 or $40 to $50 or $60, a full retail price for the game, if it included everything from Wii Sports Resort, I would have gladly paid that much money for this game, because that would have been the true Wii Sports package. And who knows, maybe in the future, knowing Nintendo, this is certainly a possibility, they are going to release Wii Sports Resort Club, but who knows, we'll have to see. In the meantime, though, you know, if you already have Wii Sports on Wii or Wii Sports Resort on Wii, stick with those. This purchase isn't necessary. So next up on the games segment are my 3DS games that I got this year, and again in alphabetical order. First up we have Fantasy Life, which is a fun action RPG in which you can take on the persona of several different classes of people. It could be hunters, warriors, mages, wizards, and depending on the type of life you choose, that varies how the game goes. And you're not limited to one particular choice throughout the entire game. You can switch up your profession, as it were, several times during the game. And with the online play, that really does amp up how big of an experience you can have. So Fantasy Life is a very fun game. Kirby Triple Deluxe. I love Kirby games. This one looks great. And I say looks great because I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Hopefully on this winter break I'll have a chance to do so. Looks great though. Mario Golf World Tour. I'm going to be honest with you. Just like Kirby, I haven't played this game. But unlike Kirby, I don't plan to. As a matter of fact, I can't believe that there's a demand for games like this. Playing a sport on a handheld console, I just don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. And maybe that's because I'm not a sports fan, but I don't know. That's just the way I feel. So if you do like this game, that's great. I've heard that it is good for what it is. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. So of course you're going to ask, well, why did you get it then? Well, as far as my collecting goes, it is a first-party Nintendo game. It's got Mario in it. And of course, I can get coins on Club Nintendo. So that is the reason that I got this game. Plus, I do have the other games in the series, and I do collect a series of Nintendo games. So that's why I've got Mario Golf World Tour, even though I don't plan to play it. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. Just like its Wii counterpart, this is pretty much the definitive Smash Brothers, at least for handhelds. And that's not only because it's the only Smash Brothers game for handhelds. This game, like its Wii counterpart, has an ample roster of characters, battle stages, online features, and just it's brimming with content in general. The only thing that I believe detracts from this particular release is the small screen that you have to play it on. I have a hard time keeping track of my Smash Brother player when I'm playing on a big LCD TV on a console, let alone on the postage stamp sized 3DS screen. So I do lose track of my character quite frequently, but really that's just kind of the territory with this type of game. But as far as content goes and gameplay, graphics, and sound, this has it all. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS is great. If this is the only Nintendo console you have, I would go for this one. Getting towards the end here, we've got Ultimate NES Remix. And if we are going to compare the NES Remix pack on Wii U to this game, I would favor this version of the game. Mainly because these games, to me, the short bursts of entertainment in the form of minigames, I think are better suited to the handheld experience than the console experience. Plus, of course, there's online play, just like the Wii U counterparts, and this one was previously unavailable on the 3DS, so there isn't another way or a superior way to get this. So I think if you're going to go for any of the NES Remix games, this 3DS version is the best way to go. And finally, Yoshi's New Island. Released more towards the beginning of the year, this game is fantastic fun. Whether or not you're a fan of the play mechanics in Yoshi's Island type of games, of, eating the eggs and throwing them, this one is a lot of fun. Criticisms levied against the game compared heavily to the Super Nintendo and the DS version. And yeah, there isn't a whole lot different with this game except the online capabilities. But if you love the gameplay from those first two original releases, you're going to love this one. Yoshi's New Island is a terrific platformer, and the graphics are beautiful. So that wraps it up. Those are all the games that I got, at least for Nintendo systems. I'm going to be moving on next to hardware. Whoops, wait a minute, hold on a second. Can't believe I almost forgot one of my most favorite releases of the year, which is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. This game is basically a souped-up version of the Toad stages found in Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. And this game boasts over 70 puzzle-like stages in which you play as Toad. You can't jump, but you can use the Wii U gamepad in very clever ways. You can use the touchscreen to move panels, you can blow into the microphone to raise platforms, and basically you just look around and rotate the screen trying to maneuver Toad throughout the stage, collecting stars and getting to the end. Each stage also has a particular challenge that is unique to that stage. And of course, just like in any Nintendo game, if you want to 100% it, you have to get all of those things in each of the 70 stages. So a terrific release, in my opinion, a real sleeper hit on the Wii U, and an unexpected surprise. Even though player's guides are becoming more and more irrelevant and obsolete thanks to the internet, and even in-game tutorials for a lot of games, I still collect them. And that's mainly because ever since I was a kid, I always had. Every time I got a game and I saw in Nintendo Power that there was a player's guide for it, I always tried to get it. To me, that was just part of the collection. It was part of the game. And now that Prima has taken over the responsibility of publishing player's guides from Nintendo, I still do that to this day. Although I can't really figure out when they choose to do this and when they don't. Sometimes they have both hardcover and softcover versions of the guides. And if that's the case, I try to pick up both. So first up, in alphabetical order, we have the softcover player's guide for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Quite a substantial guide. Take a look here. Got a lot of screenshots, maps of the stages, very detailed by level, and just as you'd expect from a Prima guide, a terrific resource for this game. A lot of times they include posters in the back. This one doesn't. Next up, hardcover only from what I've seen, the Hyrule Warriors official game guide. This one does include a bonus art section. And speaking of art, this entire guide here, the cover is art. You don't even get a title on the spine here. The art just wraps around completely. Now granted, this is a piece of paper that's shrink wrapped to the guide, so the art would continue on this back cover here. But it does tell you that they have a free searchable and sortable e-guide that you can download by redeeming a code that's inside. And there's a bonus 70-page art section that goes along with this particular guide. Official guide for Mario Kart 8. This particular guide goes into depth on absolutely every aspect of this game. How to get the fastest times on all the courses, where the shortcuts are. The only area in which this guide starts to fall short now is, of course, it doesn't include any information on the new tracks or characters that are included in Nintendo's DLC. So what you're going to want to do, and see if this one has it, it says bonus videos. With purchase of this guide, you'll gain access to videos for each track showing you shortcuts, tricks, and more at primagames.com/mk8. So I'm assuming that they have videos for the new tracks now. So that kind of is a supplement to this particular guide. It's the bonus of the internet. Obsolescence is not an issue. Now, even though Super Mario 3D World was a game from 2013, the only guide that I could find for it was the hardcover guide. And I did get that guide last year. I had a feeling that there was a softcover guide, and I finally found one, except it's their pocket version. I've never seen a full-size paperback guide for Super Mario 3D World. If there is one, I'd certainly like to have that one instead of this one, but since this is the only one that I found, this is the one that I picked up. So, the pocket paper book version of the guide for Super Mario 3D World. And the last two guides here are for the same game. Got Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and for Wii U. Have the paperback guide here and the hardcover. The hardcover guide actually includes collectible bookmarks and coverage of amiibo here, which is pretty cool. And then this paper guide here. We have a poster in the back. Nope, no poster. Just a very expansive coverage of all aspects of the game. Next up, hardware. In regards to hardware, 2014 was a pretty scant year. Not just for me as a collector, you're looking at the only 3 pieces of hardware that I got this year, but also for Nintendo. They didn't put out any new systems this year, which I guess is a good thing, because you do need a break every once in a while. But these particular items here are the only pieces of hardware I got in 2014, and they have been mentioned in other videos. The Family Computer Network System is a modem for the Famicom. Looks like this. And I did a full unboxing video for this earlier in the year when I got it. You can check that out. And going retro again is the Game & Watch game for Punch-Out, which is one that I've been wanting for a very long time. They do have another version of this called Boxing, but I believe that once Punch-Out became popular, they just took that boxing game and rebranded it with Punch-Out. So this one's still in its package. And it's of the series of Game & Watches that actually has 2 controllers that come out from it. So that's pretty cool. So, those are 2 pieces of retro hardware. Only piece of modern hardware that I got this year was the GameCube controller adapter. And I didn't realize how lucky I was to get this when I did get it. I pre-ordered it from Amazon. And the only reason I pre-ordered this from Amazon is because when I went to GameStop to upgrade my original pre-order for Smash Brothers to the bundle that came with this and the controller and the game, I was told, whoops, sorry, it's already sold out. which I found frustrating because I had Super Smash Bros. Pre-ordered way early on, as soon as it became available for pre-order. Then at E3 2014, Nintendo announced that they would be having that bundle, and it was on the back of my mind, yeah, I should probably upgrade from my standalone copy of the game to the bundle. Yeah, I should probably do it, I should probably do it. And I waited too long. Early November, I went there and he said, yeah, I got bad news for you. You know what, that's already sold out. So, as soon as I left the store, I went on Amazon and pre-ordered the adapter by itself. Kept my pre-order for the game, the standalone game at GameStop. And as far as the controller goes, I have so many GameCube controllers, I really didn't need another one. I mean, one with the Smash Brothers logo on it, it really didn't do a whole lot for me. It would have been nice to have in the bundle, but since I didn't get the bundle, I thought just getting the GameCube controller adapter by itself would be the next best thing. And I'm glad I did, because from what I understand, just like amiibos, or certain amiibos, this so far has been released in very limited quantities and it's been sold out. And of course, scalpers are charging astronomical prices for it on eBay and Amazon. So I am glad to get this. I am disappointed, though, however, that as it says on the package, and Nintendo actually has been very forthcoming about this, it's for use only with Super Smash Bros. It will not work with the Virtual Console on Wii U. It will not work on the Wii Virtual Console on the Wii U. And it will not work with anything on any older Wii console. So this is strictly, for now anyways, for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. But anyway, those are my 3 pieces of Nintendo hardware, both retro and modern. Going to be moving on next to other things that I got this year. First up here in the other category, I have the Year of Luigi 30th Anniversary collectible figurine from Club Nintendo. And like a lot of things with Nintendo recently, this was available in very limited quantities. And I had quite a few coins saved up when this was announced. And I've been disappointed with Nintendo prizes for quite a while now, which was one of the main reasons I had amassed so many coins. I figured, you know what, this is pretty cool, I might as well get this. And you know what, I spent a lot of coins on it, but there hasn't been anything else on Club Nintendo that I wanted to spend coins on. So I'm glad I got this, and this is the number that I got here. Speaking of Club Nintendo rewards, here are some awesome Club Nintendo rewards. I got the Super Mario 3D World and the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds double disc soundtracks. Sadly, however, these are available only in Japan for sure, and as I understand it, they're also available on Club Nintendo Europe. In the United States, we do not get good Club Nintendo prizes. I don't know why. I don't know why we're looked over like that, but at least nowadays with the internet and eBay, you can still import these things, even if you do have to pay a heftier price than you would like to. These double disc soundtracks are high quality recordings. They are... Oops, got an email. From this soundtrack, nonetheless. That's the treasure fanfare from this particular game. But anyway, I digress. These are very high-quality soundtracks. The leaflets are interesting to look at, even if you can't understand Japanese. If you take a look at the track listing, there are several track listings, just about as many on this particular release of A Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds. These are awesome Club Nintendo rewards. I wish we were fortunate enough in the United States to get things like this. But hey, we are getting the Smash Brothers soundtrack if you register on Club Nintendo, both the Wii U, and the 3DS version. So that's good news. Next up is the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition Monopoly. Did a full unboxing video for this earlier in the year when I got it. And this is the GameStop exclusive version. I believe other stores sell it in a little bit of a different size box, which I think I would prefer, but this one's alright. The reason that I prefer the other size is this particular board inside has 2 seams in it, and it folds up into a more compact square shape instead of a longer rectangular shape if it were to only have one fold. But that's a minor gripe with it. The GameStop version includes a bonus Ocarina of Time game piece and also a little lithograph in a treasure chest envelope, which is pretty cool. Next up on the list is something I didn't pick up for myself, but rather a friend picked up for me at the Nintendo World store in New York when he went there. And this is the Luigi figurine by the Good Smile Company, and it appears to be a Japanese import toy. And I'm not going to say too much about this particular item in this video because I do have a full unboxing for this in another video, which you can check out if you'd like. Next up is another gift from the same friend who went to the Nintendo World store in New York. And this is the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker Helmarock King wall decal, which is pretty cool. We take a look here. It says, stained glass wall graphics. The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker makes its glorious return on the Wii U console with gorgeous HD graphics and enhanced game features. In this timeless classic with a unique and colorful art style, you'll guide Link as he sets out on the massive Great Sea to find his kidnapped sister, sail the seas in search of lost islands, fight fearsome enemies, take on mighty bosses, and seek out the legendary Triforce. In this definitive version on the Wii U console, you can experience the game in gorgeous 1080p graphics and manage your inventory view and view maps on the Wii U gamepad controller. With the new Tingle Bottle feature, you can connect with others over Miiverse, broadband internet access required. Comments or screenshots posted on Miiverse can wash up on shores and in other locations of other players' games. And if the TV is already in use, you don't have to worry. You can play the game right on the Wii U gamepad. So on this particular product for sale in the Nintendo World Store, they actually have a full-blown ad for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. But the decal is pretty cool. It's in this tube. I've yet to take it out and put it up anywhere. Since I don't have much wall space left in my Nintendo loft, I'm probably going to be putting it on the one window that I have in there. I'll just have to see if it fits. And last but not least, amiibos. I love them and I hate them. I love them because, hey, they're my favorite Nintendo characters in collectible figurine form, and they actually have some useful functionality in games. They look pretty good in their packages, too, if you decide to keep them in their package. I hate them, though, because Nintendo is releasing what seems like so many of them in very limited quantities. If you take the first wave, for example, the Wii Fit Trainer, Villager, and Marth, those three figures, some people didn't even see in stores. They were so rare. And we're being told now that that's it. You know what? If you want this figure, you're going to have to pay some scalper online $70 for it, which I think is ridiculous. I understand releasing certain figures in limited quantities from a retail standpoint so that you don't lose money on it. A less popular figure like the Wii Fit Trainer, no, they're not going to make as many of those because they know they're not going to sell as well, and they don't want to lose the money on them. But the extremely limited quantities that they're making these is just ridiculous. And the way they're saying it, it sounds like pretty much every other character now after the first wave is going to be released like this. Because they've said that the more popular characters are going to be released in larger numbers. And if you think about it, from Nintendo's perspective, the more popular characters are Mario characters, Legend of Zelda characters, Donkey Kong, and Kirby. And that's about it. Those are already released. So all the secondary characters like Diddy Kong, Pit, Captain Falcon, and pretty much all the other ones from the Super Smash Bros. Series are going to be released in these extremely limited quantities, which I get it needs to be limited, but I just don't know why it needs to be so limited. So I am going to try to get all of these characters. As you can see on the left-hand side of my collection for now, as we're wrapping up the year 2014, I'm missing only one character from the first two waves. I have Donkey Kong, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Samus, Link, Zelda, Little Mac, Captain Falcon. I actually was lucky enough to find Marth in a store. So on the right-hand side here, we've got Marth, Yoshi, Kirby, Fox, Diddy Kong, Pikachu, Villager, and Wii Fit Trainer. The only one that I'm missing as of the filming of this video is Pit. And if things go the way they've been going, if they're going to stay this way, it seems like Pit is going to be one of those hard ones to find, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I do have him pre-ordered at Amazon, like all the other Wave 2 figures. But unlike the other 5, they haven't been able to give me any updates about when Pit will ship. And unfortunately, that kind of matches what I've been seeing in stores in regards to the availability of the second wave of amiibos. Even though I had all the second wave figures pre-ordered at Amazon, I still check stores such as Target, Toys R Us, Walmart, and Best Buy on a regular basis just to see what they have in stock. And in total, at the stores in my area, I'd say I've been seeing a lot of Zelda figures. I don't think she's going to be rare. Haven't seen any Pit, probably about less than 5 Diddy Kong, 2 Captain Falcon, very little of him, several Luigi, probably just about as much as Zelda, and no Little Mac. And since I can't find Pit in stores, well, hopefully Amazon will come through with my pre-order. We'll just have to see. And don't get me wrong, as frustrated as I am trying to find these amiibos, I know how very fortunate I am to have the ones that I do. But I just don't understand Nintendo's logic on the extreme limited quantities of the second string characters. It doesn't make sense. Because think about, that poor 14-year-old, his favorite character in Smash Brothers is Marth. He never got a chance to see it in stores, and a 14-year-old probably doesn't have $70 to blow on a $13 figure. So, I don't know. It just seems that Nintendo went a little overboard with how rare some of these figures are. There's been talk of them re-releasing some of them and releasing them in card format, which, in my opinion, totally defeats the purpose. The whole purpose of these was to have these neat figurines that you were able to use with the Wii U gamepad and 3DS. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But I am very lucky to have the amiibos that I do have, and hopefully, by the time this video is published, I will have found a Pit figure. But if not, hopefully in early 2015, I will be able to get the Pit. So, anyway, that's all for what I've got this year for Nintendo. It always seems like I didn't get that much in any given year until I do these videos, and then I see everything all together that I got. And I am very lucky to have everything that I have. So, until next time, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a wonderful 2014, and I wish you lots of luck and happiness in 2015. See you later.
Sorry to keep you waiting!